probably time for another episode of You Speak Your Brains. I've been collecting all the stupid comments from all the content, and I think I have enough to do like multiple episodes. We all like checking in with the melts. Now, just for those who are maybe new to the series, or don't know, basically what I did one time back in the glorious old Sam days of content was that we basically looked at the stupidest YouTube comments, and we've scaled up a bit since then because I get so many now, particularly when I do some reporting on politics or whatever, and I save them all because I'm insane. I do read all of the comments, and it's pretty wild, the stuff that I read now on a sort of daily basis. We like to go through them on stream and get to the craziest ones, and that's what You Speak Your Brains. It's a literal manifestation of someone's brain. I never really got into the idea of people like going, oh, it's just Twitter or it's just Reddit. That is a human being that typed out that stupid fucking thought that is now poisoning my brain and killing my brain cells. So no mercy for the morons. No mercy for the morons at all. These all have names, these screenshots that meant something a while ago, but I just don't know if they do now. But let's see if I can keep up. So I do remember this one. This was kind of funny. So I got accused of posting a AI clip of Joe Biden, right? Which was that happened to me online. We'll get that here. Joe Biden, if you remember, when I did the coverage of his trip to Asia, he got on stage and said, it's like that song, which isn't a song, it's a film, about the Vietnamese War. He says, it's like that song, Good Morning Vietnam. Well, good morning Vietnam. And he said it like, sort of loudly as he can these days. So, obviously, that's a ridiculous thing to do, isn't it? Because why the fuck would I want to bring up the US invasion of Vietnam when I'm in Vietnam? Probably a bit of a sore spot. Still, to this day. I'm just guessing. But anyway, he did, because he's Joe Biden and his brain's a fucking applesauce. He's just not there. And so, Counter-Strike news is so dead. These fallen off reporters, again, remember, just brought the biggest story in CS, nominated for Journalist of the Year, done a ton of great reporting, whatever. These fallen off reporters have to post bait AI clips to get clicks views. And so I replied with, Twitter's so populated by morons that they genuinely don't check White House transcriptions before making dumb claims in public. And then I linked him to the transcription of him saying it, right? Because they transcribe everything he says, God bless him. And because it's legally obliged to be an accurate record, they don't even correct the crazy shit he says. They leave in ums and uhs. So literally it's there. Now, that should be the end of the exchange, but it isn't. Because stupid is undefeated. It knows no limits. He said, I was in an airplane when I replied. I didn't listen to the audio of the clip, but just read your quote of what he said. Are you going to try and argue that your biased interpretation of what he said is valid? I assume Anders is right now, and you're merely joking. I said it's clearly an exaggeration of what he said as a joke. So to be clear, you didn't watch the clip, then publicly accused me of posting an AI clip for clips and engagement. See if you can figure out which one of us is the irresponsible moron here. Because he also had to go at Anders, because Anders replied to it, because he thought it was absurd. And you can see here, sad you bit on this, Anders. It's a fake AI voiceover. Richard clearly realising he's hurting on clicks. Sad to see you taking any of this super seriously. Hope you're okay though, said Anders. Because again, he's got my methodology down. When you engage with the moron, you just pity the moron. And all you have to keep doing is asking them questions. Either say, get well soon, or ask them questions. And keep asking them questions till the moronic world they built collapses in on itself. It works every time. I'm going to show you a great example of that. It's 20 screenshots long. Sorry, Anders. His original post definitely made it sound like he was being serious. And he attacked the other guy who was confused about the history of the conflict, which again made his post sound sincere. Sorry for dragging you in. Hope you're well. If you can't detect clear and obvious jokes, that's a you thing. The fact you lied about me publicly and then lashed out at Anders for simply replying and you didn't even watch the clip is staggering. How can you not be embarrassed? Delete your bullshit and go away. In the end, he blocked me. But he blocked me! for no reason. This one, what's this? This is off YouTube. And this says, and keep in mind, by the way, that orange symbol means he's a subscriber. Richard likes to act like he has these edgy takes, but he's just a globo-homo shill. Unfortunate. No foundational morality. Subscribed. Subscribed. Loves my content. Wants more. Wants it recommended. Globo homo shill the whole time. For those who don't know, globo homo is the belief that there is a cabal of people. Yes, it's typically an anti-Semitic thing. There's a cabal of people that are designed to trying to make the Western world gay. And that all the media we consume and all the food we eat, all designed to make us become less sexually inhibited and have a good time. Oh no, nightmare. Oh shit, I woke up, I'm bisexual and everything's great. That's what globo homo is, in case you weren't aware. Okay, globo homo shill. What have we got over here? When I criticised that shit song, I'm getting tired of selling my soul. I'm crooning, ma, look at me, I'm crooning. Right, because I found that song to be so fucking stupid and repugnant, I brought out a bunch of nutters. This one, right? Now remember, been dunked on for fucking all this time for being right-wing. I'm a conservative, apparently. People even say all the time, they introduce themselves to me. Listen, I never thought I would like a conservative's opinion. But fucking what? Anyway, so you're a liberal. Unsubbed. I've lived long enough to go from being criticised for being a Nazi, and now I'm a liberal globo homo shill. It's been quite the journey, guys, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of interesting for him to rant and call out shills and sellouts with literally 2 ads on his screen. I do agree with him. It was just funny. Now, obviously, one of those ads was for Globo Homo, who are indeed the sponsor of this Twitch broadcast. Globo Homo for all your worldly gay needs, but use referral code RLS next time you're on Grindr. But anyway, the video this was replying to was me talking about Saudi Arabia, right? He was like, I'm saying it's wrong to sell out to the Saudi Arabian state. That's what I said. And then he goes, but he's got a VPN logo down there, so it's like the same. Like, please, got no problem with sellouts. It's just who you fucking sell out to, bro. Like, come on. I forgot about this one. This is brilliant. This is brilliant because it's making a point, but it gets the words wrong. Oh, God, I actually laughed at this when I saw it. It's so good. It's actually brilliant. If nobody laughs at this one, no one finds this funny, I have a really weird sense of humour. So he goes, I don't see the point in crying about Saudis being immoral when every industry affiliated with America supports that and worse. The same computers we all use has parts mined from children. And obviously he means mined by children. But the idea... The idea that it's like, we got the next Intel chipset coming out. Bring out the babbies. We've got to mine them babbies. Smashing children with a pickaxe to get computer parts out of them. It's just like, I'm not, it's fucking mined from children. Like, it's so fucking insane. Oh, fuck, that did me in. Like, mined from children. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Banks in the mind. Smash their heads in, get a computer, smash their heads in. This happened the other day. This was a bit of a weird one. I changed my avatar, because it was that picture of me as Fidel Castro with milk dripping down my chin, smoking a zoot, I believe. But anyway, whatever. And I changed it to Cato, right? Cato the Younger, because Cato was sort of like the last holdout for the Roman Republic, so it's kind of like ironic. He was the one who was vicious. I read a fantastic book about it. It's called Rome's Last Citizen, it's called. So I changed my bio to the last citizen of esports and put a picture of Cato in there, which got me called a statue guy. Apparently, if you're right wing, you like statues. So didn't get called a globo homo guy. I got called a right wing statue guy by someone on Twitter. But anyway, it's just because I find it funny that I am like I have become Cato. Except he also said only make your points as quickly as possible, which I definitely don't do. So, but anyway. when you change your avatar on Twitter, you lose your tick temporarily to stop impersonation. And just out of nowhere, somebody DM'd me that. And look, it's 4 a.m, my time. Now, you're going to say, Richard, why are you still awake at 4 a.m, replying to Twitter DMs? It gets dark. It gets dark after midnight. But anyway, ha ha, not verified. Ha ha, loser, said an account called Zoe, also not verified. I replied, you temporarily lose your tick when you change profile pic. Do you need to speak to a mental health professional to describe help? Just let me know. And so I got my tick back, and I messaged him saying, you'll be pleased to know. He hasn't replied to me. Like, what the fuck? Left me on red. Now I know overdrive's pain. Oh, this was kind of weird. There's a section in your YouTube channel where comments it thinks will hurt your feelings just go randomly sometimes. And you have to manually click it, just in case none of you have a YouTube channel. And it says before you open it, there might be bad feelings in this. And I just never open it really. But I do go in from time to time and check on it. And there's like half a dozen in there or something, you know. I hadn't been in for a while and I opened it and I just cut these out because these are like just the sort of things people send. Republicans bad, keck. Western beta male worse. I got cancelled from Pro NA Dota for the truth. South America is cheap labour. Right? That was meant to be a reply, I believe, to the Dota video I do. So the only mild ribbing you know about is at the barbecue, bitch. Get your money up. All right? I do like a good barbecue. He has fucking got me there. Like, not going to lie. He has absolutely fucking done me. Don't know about the money, though. Like, I fucking got that. I'm doing all right there. I could definitely afford barbecue. I mean, okay. Arab invest money on a games. Westoid screaming sport washing. Westoid getting oil from Arab. I slew. What a hypocrite shit, all of you, really. I am a proud Westoid. Now, that guy spammed some abusive message, and I can't remember what it's called, so we'll get to that. I think it's on my other. I think it's in my other folder of abuse. I'll get into it. But anyway, he was spamming something ridiculous. He lost his mind and was replying to every comment. He got very upset over the sports washing thing. Back to I'm Gonna Croon. This was just hilarious. What a crazy thing. People really like that song, evidently, and I'm not allowed to criticize it, even though it was clearly designed by a conservative think tank, so people like Ben Shapiro could fucking pimp it out to people. But whatever. Just think about this for a second. So you know, immediately this guy's going deep, right? Just think about this for a second. You wouldn't have this content, meaning my video criticizing it, if it wasn't for his music. Also, judging a non-labeled artist seems more jealousy-driven than authentic. Thirdly, where are your million-view hits? And why even make certain comments if you don't live in America and understand our issues we have at hand? You, sir, ride the coattails for content, and that's pathetic. Where's your song? Now, there's a little bit of a problem with that, isn't there? I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not a musician. Now, I used to be. I been in many a band, have written songs. So my song is probably on a cassette tape that I want no one to find at an old friend's house that I no longer talk to. That's my song. That's where they are. Because I know we definitely spent at least 2 sessions in a recording studio and did an EP and an album, which was, looking back, was somewhat self-aggrandizing. So my song is there. I did actually record some songs. But it is also worth noting that I am not a musician currently, nor do I think I could ever be again. Kind of shot my load on this journalism and writing thing, haven't I? So I did answer him. I said, correct. I wouldn't be able to mock morons getting upset that their authentic song is a Blaze think tank operation if the song didn't exist. He has got me there. He's done me there, right? 2, I don't... that's meant to say I don't want to be a musician. This is probably a 4 a.m. reply again. So claiming jealousy is dumb. I have videos that have exceeded 1 million views. It's true, look it up. I have my 1 million views. Upsettingly, what my most viewed video is the Forsaken video, which was entitled something like Indian CS player gets caught cheating at a LAN. And I think that did 1.6 million. And it wasn't monetized because we used 3 seconds, if that, of the Curb Your Enthusiasm song. That's all gone to Mr. Enthusiasm, that money. That's all gone to Larry David. So, anyway, I used to live in America and have been writing about American politics since the 90s. Really good post otherwise, though. Weird how it's so many really stupid people seem to vibe with this song. Really makes you think. So, I got him at the end. Now, we get a little change. We get a switch up now. See? Your definition of stupid is basically the majority of people who are fed up with the topic that holds heartstrings mostly. And that's taxes. The musician aside, since you apparently have an infatuation with bashing him, I don't care at all. Why does the message, which is purely factual, bother you? We pay taxes on things already taxed to pay them again. This is like, obviously, someone who's just got out of college or something. Like, taxes, man, yeah. I think you are revolutionary for not liking what is popular for the wrong reasons and try to defend yourself by attacking those who have ideals that people believe in for the sake of being different. That's all good. I don't typically like what's popular. It's all right when he does it. And I don't care for the song myself. The song he's telling me not to criticise. But in order to contradict something, there should be more than opinion. There should be factual information. The video he's replying to is a list of factual information that connects it to The Blaze and other conservative think tanks of why this should be contradicted. And to a certain point, it can't be the man writing the music. It has to be the lyrics and what they stand for. In that aspect, I think you don't have a leg to stand on. No, I don't even understand what he's saying at that point. But I think he's saying everything else I did was right, but he likes the lyrics, so got him, or something. He added more. Also, I don't think you have to be from America to comment or review anything. Literally, did just type that 2 comments ago. I may have worded things poorly. You may have worded it in a way that's completely contradictory to the thing you're saying a few minutes later. Yeah. We all have freedoms, which allow us to express our independent ideas and ideals, and that is what makes freedom what it is. I applaud you for having an unpopular opinion. Again, he was telling me that my opinion being unpopular just 2 comments ago is proof that my opinion is objectively bad and wrong. I applaud you for having an unpopular opinion, as an opinions should never be based on popularity to begin with. I just think the structure is somewhat abysmal. Like I stated, it's not the artist that people are into. It's the idea of having a musical platform in which spreads truth. I don't see how that can be critiqued properly, because it wasn't truth. It was talking points in a year close to an election year for conservatives, you see. Seems like you are after the audience that doesn't like certain material for the fact that others do like it, and that is not constructive. That's indeed my whole audience, isn't it, guys? There's one thing I make content on. It's about what's popular today and why it's bad. That is the entirety of my YouTube output, actually. So yeah, he was a psycho, wasn't he? What else have we got here? What's this one? Oh, there it is! Remember the guy I said earlier, the one who called me a Westoid, and I said he was replying to comments? He was spamming this comment. I don't even know what it is, what he's trying to say, but it's important that you see, potentially inappropriate, it got flagged as. I didn't delete it, YouTube did. But let's see. Right, so mental illness, Gen Z, riot shill, is on rampant on YouTube, spewing bullshit. No wonder their games is having pervert and horny ass boy bundled as Ratchiot community, laughing my fucking ass off. Now, he spammed that loads. I mean, loads. That's what got it flagged. He was spamming it. So I don't even know what a horny ass boy is. can hazard a guess. There's that Globo Homo again. See, this is how we do it over at Globo Homo Incorporated. See, you think you're watching a stream about mentalists sending me hate mail. What I'm really doing is I'm subversively, like the comedic equivalent of Sissy Hypno. That's what we do. It's just what we do. Oh, this is just a classic. You can always appreciate this. Remember, guys, this is all you ever need to say when they say, "Oh, but how can you criticize the Saudi Arabian state for its terrible human rights record? What about America? What about America?" Right, so all you have to do, there it is, again, a sub. So the atrocities constantly being committed by the USA or any other NATO country is all right. As always, delusion and hypocrisy from a Westerner. Look in the mirror for once. Again, from a sub. Now meet the fucking Dom, right? Can you show me where the US government or NATO are running an esports event? That's it. That's the question. That's all you need to do. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to say. Can you show me a NATO run event? Can you show me a US government run event? No, you can't. Shut the fuck up. End of it. That's the problem. It's the Saudi Arabian state. It's not the country. It's the Saudi Arabian state. It is the government that are running these events. That is the problem. So by the way, again, all of the people, I was heartwarmed to see you all in the HLTV chat today. That's all you ever need to say. That's all you have to do. You just ask them. You just ask them, can you show me? They never can. They'll tie themselves up in knots. They'll go crazy. But they never, ever can show you because it doesn't exist. Then on Reddit, there is someone who, and this is relevant to the journalism talk, this is a Reddit user that basically spams the Valorant subreddit and occasionally comes into the CSGO subreddit and the League of Legends subreddit solely for the purposes of just telling lies about me. Don't know why, don't know what I've done to their brain, but once again, broken him. There's a history of him absolutely leaving out key points of his articles so he could slam Riot and having numerous figureheads within the scene having to correct the, in scare quotes, journalism. Since the context was heavily missing, dang, guess working for an alt-right, and we're ticking all the boxes. So again, just within the course of a few weeks, alt-right, globo homo, liberal, chill, westoid, conservatoid. I mean, where are we at, guys? But anyway, working for an alt-right newspaper really sharpened that skill set. RL has been around for quite a while, and I've looked at his journalism back from CS StarCraft 2. I know who he is. Thank you, though. He still has absolutely no moral compass, and is a huge fucking dickhead. But if you want to feel that way about them, so you can feel better about it, I'm not going to stop you. No, you're just going to post in everything that mentions my name like some obsessive fucking lunatic on the internet. Now, listen, obviously, there are many things you can say about me, many things you can criticise me. I mean, mostly people just go with the fat, bald, old, washed. That's all fine. The one thing you probably can't say is that my journalism has been so inaccurate that it's had to be publicly corrected on a number of times. It's just not happened. The only person that's even tried that I can think of was Nahaz when he got super ass-pained about me literally doing the type of reporting that 2 weeks prior he'd praised, which was to take anonymous quotes from whistleblowers and people who had suffered at the hands of something, and then basically get it out there so people know what's really going on. Now, he turned around and said when I did that about EG that it was nowhere near reporting, and then you scroll down his feed and 2 weeks earlier, guess what? There was an article about Trump, and he was like, "Oh, it's brilliant, retweet this." Yeah, of course, yeah. Unfortunately, he was just another guy. He got TDS. It's a shame. We used to do a podcast together. Not a lot of people know that. I really thought he could be saved, but TDS, man, it's fucking tough. It's a rough one. It's time. We're going to do the epic one. Now, as I've said, I'll repeat it again. When somebody accuses you of something they believe is real, what you don't do is deny. What you don't do is you clap back. Here's how you break them. Here's how you break their brains. You ask them to prove it. And then you repeatedly ask them questions about what they meant, why they said it, why isn't there a lack of evidence? Surely a lack of evidence is starting to make you think that maybe your claim's incorrect. And they just tie themselves in fucking knots, dude. They just lose it. They cannot cope. So here we go. Get ready for this. 20 screenshots of me just absolutely playing with my fucking food. This was over the Biden AI thing. I should have done it at the start, but I wanted to leave it so it's illustrative of the point. And so this is from someone called Team Alibi. Said, not sure. So basically, In reply to the AI that wasn't an AI, right? This guy waded in and said, not sure what turned you into this brand of grifter, but I guess it suits you. So I asked him. The all-important question. You have called me a grifter, so what is the grift, right? Because a grifter is grifting, right? Like a grifter is somebody that is doing something typically performatively for the purposes of profit or money. Or on social media, by extension, you get attention, which you convert into profit and money via way of, interactions, engagement, book deal, podcast. So what is the grift? Very good question. He said, pretending anyone thinks any politician, president or otherwise is not tone deaf in only very specific ways is a pretty unavoidable answer for you. It's been pretty clear for a little while with your dive into American politics. I have an inkling you're a big fan of Jordan Peterson. Right now, of course, mocked Jordan Peterson ruthlessly over that ridiculous fucking tweet he did where he's like, welcome to CCP hell. And he was linking to a fucking fetish porn video. So, just saying, maybe not. And, I think the internet broke him. I think he had a lot going on. I've said it multiple times. If you're telling me that guy in those lecture videos is the same dude now, dressed up like Harvey Two-Face on Joe Rogan's podcast, he's not. The internet broke him. Not everyone gets out of the internet, man. It's fucking hard in here. Not to mention the drug addiction, the stuff he's been going through with his wife. The internet crushed him and turned him into this. So, anyway, there it is for the record. I said, your word salad doesn't relate to the exchange. The moron I'm replying to said I posted an AI clip. I didn't. So, again, what's the grift? We get back to the question. What is the grift? You have said I'm a grifter. What is the grift? Try it again. Who am I to question your livelihood, mate? You'll notice there's no answer. I simply made a remark because it hadn't seemed clear. So until your wording of your original tweet about people holding water over a tone-deaf remark by an old man, such breaking news out there. There's nothing to do with my livelihood. I make no money from posting a clip mocking someone making a fool of themselves. The phrase is carrying water, meaning to serve or assist. No one said it was breaking news. So again, what's the grift? Okay, we're going to keep going. Sorry, mate, I don't only stay within the bounds of the conversation you were having. You'll notice again, not an answer. I replied, where I did still within the original chain of the primary tweet that made me say what I did. Sorry I wasn't in direct response to the combo you wanted to have. Doesn't change my point. You've not made a point beyond claiming I'm engaging in some sort of grift. I'll ask again. What's the grift? Now, guys, you're already getting tired of the bit, right? We're not even a quarter of the way through. This is also super important for you to know. When you meet the moron and the liar, and very often they're the same thing, they're just telling lies because they don't have a working brain that sort of filters out the garbage. They just, this must be true. My brain told me. My brain would never lie to me. That's what you're dealing with, right? So, patience is important. You have to be super patient. You have to you don't block them. You make them block you. You have to keep going, right? No, it's boring. It's a waste of time. I know it's a waste of my time, but it's important work, ladies and gentlemen. The moron must be challenged. We have to take a stand. So, like I said, it's been pretty clear for a while. Seems a bit disingenuous to pretend like I was saying it was that tweet on its own. So now he's expanded the grift, but still hasn't said what the grift is. You did actually read the word salad, right? It's okay to call it that, but at least read it if you're going to respond to it. If it's been clear for a while, you'll be able to add some detail to what the grift is, which will be good to hear. Can you start by telling me what the grift is? And you're doing the very engagement, heavy right-wing grift that's super easy to slot into without even having to try. You are very particular about the things you cover because you know what gets engagement. Stop pretending grift is a heinous insult. It's not GTA. And then he does a little kiss. And I say, I never said it was an insult. I asked you to explain what the grift is. You still haven't. Can you? Or is it just something in your mind, right? So now I've planted the seed. Maybe you're imagining all this. Oh dear, the dream is collapsing. It's inception. What are we going to do? Right? So, what are we going to do? We're going to keep going. You replied this to the tweet that explained what the grift is, just really leaning into the disingenuous here repeatedly. It's boring. You have, in fact, not explained what the grift is. Please do. What grift am I engaged in? How does that tweet relate to my livelihood? These things should be easy enough to explain for you as they're your ideas, right? So again, they're your ideas. Are you imagining these things? You know, like you plant these seeds. Things start getting comfortable. Cognitive dissonance is actually physically painful if you go through it enough. And he said, here, I'll paste it without the part you got hung up on. And you're doing the very engagement, heavy right-wing grift that's super easy to slot into without ever having to try. You're very particular about things you cover because you know what gets engagement. That doesn't explain what the grift is. Let me help you. Now, grift, a petty or small-scale swindle. This term is commonly applied online to people who express things in a dishonest way or contrary to their beliefs to earn money from like-minded people. So now I've explained what a grift is. Also very important, set your axioms or whatever, base your axioms. And he says, so again, can you explain what is the grift? How does it affect my livelihood? How is it in any way right-wing? Would love to hear the answer to these questions, as it's always useful to gain insight into people suffering from delusions and or psychosis. Now, well then, we've certainly opened up a Pandora's box here with M words, right? So here we go. It's well evolved past that with the political grifting, and it's cute you think anyone believes you, of all people, don't know that people do that. You are a good journalist. That's how I know you know this. I get you wanting to try and dance in the square, but you asked, I answered. Again, which part is the grift? Are you implying I don't think Biden is out to lunch? Because I genuinely do. Can you explain how I'm swindling people into giving me money from this tweet? Very interested in your answers. Should be pretty easy enough to explain, so just do it. Plenty of people do. so now, plenty of people grift, right? Okay, what is the grift? We're back to that. Is it safe? It's Marathon Man. Plenty of people do, and there's a lot of way to engage with that reality. And like I said, this was the straw that caused the realization, not the origin of it. You keep pretending you've initiated a gotcha, but I answered your question. You just don't like it, which is fine. You really haven't. I guess you don't understand the question. This is also a great thing to do. If they refuse to answer the question, reframe the question, but make sure it remains at its core materially the same, right? Because then they have to mirror that change up with their denials. Okay, so as this tweet is a joke, reflecting something I genuinely believe that makes me absolutely no money and doesn't reach an audience I don't already have, I would like you to explain how it is a grift. Thanks. So I have now laid out the term. I have now explicitly stated why it cannot be a grift. So maybe you know something I don't. Do tell me what the grift is. Surely that's the end, right? Well, no. I categorically disbelieve any attempts by you to pretend you don't know what a right-wing grifter is on Twitter. You're full of shit if you say so. Now, again, he's answering the question. He thinks I'm saying I don't know what a grifter is, but I'm very specifically asking him, why am I a grifter? Okay? And he goes, it's not even new. It's been around for quite some time. Pretty prolific and very consistent way to garner engagement. I do know what they are. I even provided you with the definition. Can you explain how my tweet is part of a grift first, and then explain how it's in any way right-wing after that? Thanks. You keep hinging on money. But I've only mentioned engagement, haven't I? Are we also pretending that someone in your position would never pursue certain topics they engage with because of the amount of engagement metrics on sites you use to speak to your supporters? Come on. Well, the money is part of the requirement for it to be a grift. The engagement is only worthwhile if you can translate that into personal gain, you silly Billy. It's a fact that whenever I speak on politics, I lose followers on most platforms. Can you explain the grift now? Okay, right. We're getting closer. I'm sure there's going to be a breakthrough, and any minute now he's going to explain what grift I was engaged in. The definition you provided is the dictionary definition. See, now what the moron will do is when they realise there's nowhere for them to go when you've laid out the definitions of what things are, they will then try and challenge the very definitions themselves or pretend they don't understand the definitions, right? The definition you provided is the dictionary definition and isn't specifically related to the actual modern meaning. especially when talking specifically about political grifter, which is not tied to that definition. Like, come on, whatever, lol. Now, obviously, again, I also gave him the modern definition. He said, which is why I included the modern meaning for you. Can you explain how my tweet aligns with the modern meaning? What is the grift? How does it benefit me? Thanks. I'm even scaling the question down for him, right? We're narrowing it, right? But you can tell by the whatever, lol, like he's getting exasperated, right? The pain has started, the throbbing pain in the moron brain. Like, holy shit, like, what if none of this is real? What if I'm just a moron? What if I'm just a moron on Twitter? What if I'm not the main character and I'm a moron? You know, driving him crazy. This extended well past the point anyway. So good luck, mate. Been a fan for many years from a CSGO perspective and have watched from a distance. Made a remark. Obviously, you weren't going to like it, but there's nothing to defend from either side. You keep doing you. Well, you accused me of engaging in something dishonest and then couldn't substantiate why you said that in public. I repeatedly asked you to explain. You refuse. Can you at least explain what's right-wing about it so I can have a laugh before blocking you? Here we go. No, I mean, it really isn't. You don't have to be good at it to be part of it. If the talking points are the same, there's no other way to categorize it accurately. I really think the hinging on the definition is just you really wanting that Webster definition so you can control this convo. But if I know I lose followers but do it anyway, how can it possibly be a grift? How can it be a disingenuous action to benefit me if it's a genuine action I know in advance won't benefit me? Can you explain how these facts fit into your claim that tweet is a grift of some kind? Okay, this is verbal jiu-jitsu. He's in an armbar. He's in a mental armbar. Like I said, that's all there is to it. Nothing for you to defend, and certainly not for me. It's a meaningless thing, since it's so obnoxiously prolific at this point. When a better term comes out for it, I'll update you with what I meant in context. All right. Well, instead of a better term, how about just using an accurate one? Generally, people use words for their meanings. They don't just use words they hear on the internet. They think sounds appropriate for describing something they don't understand. Morons do that, though. So put the pieces together. So now I'm breaking him the bad news. You're a moron, unfortunately. I regret to inform you that you are a moron. We're still not done, by the way. At that point, you tap. But no, dishonest. I never said you were dishonest. Just particular about what you say in ways that align with talking points that are right-wing. Block me for that. I surely have assaulted you. A grift is inherently dishonest in both the traditional and terminally online meaning of the word. So now the limitations of my opinions have to be they cannot overlap with anyone you deem right-wing. I thought many people agreed he's out to lunch, talking about Joe Biden. Very confused, my dude. So he comes back again, right? You're a grifter. You're an honest grifter, right? That's now the premise he's putting forward, right? And here you are pretending I didn't explicitly state that this was the final tweet that had specific wording that linked all the previous times I've seen it over the last year or two. Keep making it about the Biden tweet, the tweet he specifically replied to, that said was proof I was a grifter. And when I told you it wasn't, is this fun to do? The tweet you were replying to was someone falsely claiming I had posted an AI clip for engagement purposes. It wasn't AI. You then claimed I was engaged in a grift that you cannot explain or elaborate on across close to 20 tweets later. What does your brain tell you it's about? Now I'm trying to deliberately reach out to his brain itself, right? Like there is a pilot in that flesh husk, and maybe I can connect with it. Right? Like an illithid from Baldur's Gate. Let's try. I'm not being deposed for a defamation trial, so you can tone down your defense. I told you there isn't a word for it, the it he won't explain, except grifter. And it's so continuously disingenuous to pretend you don't make money from doing what you do, man. It's just such bullshit. Just move on. And I've explained how the word grifter, both in its modern and traditional usage, wouldn't fit. I then asked you to elaborate on what the grift is, and you can't. Why not just say, me no like your tweets, you bad right-wing man, and just be done with it instead of trying to argue? They even offered him an out, offered him the out. There it is. You're a moron, it's not your fault. When I told you that, I replied in the thread because of the original tweet, the Biden tweet. Your issue is the chain I'm replying in, which I already made clear and informed you had occurred a while ago. I can link you the tweet if you want to deny that, but you replied to it. So, is this fun? So, which tweet do you have an issue with? Which one is the grift tweet? Oh, I can't believe it. We already talked about the wording in the original tweet. Doesn't even want to link the tweet. Regarding holding water, which you defined to me, so I know you remember it. I'm repeatedly convinced you're going out of your way to be disingenuous, and I guess I found out the answer to whether you're doing this for fun. I never said holding water, though. I explained the term was carrying water and explained what it meant. That's from the original tweet, because I said anyone who carries water for Joe Biden at this point is a fucking joke, right? So, can you explain why me saying anyone carrying water to cover for a world leader's cognitive problems is a grift? Why would that be right-wing? Again, these are your claims, so easy to explain. There's more. 1. I mistyped. So he used a completely different phrase. He said holding water, which I don't even know what that means. Holding water. Oh, yeah. The phrase holding water, if something holds water, it means it's like, airtight. It's a good point. So I didn't... totally inappropriate for what we were talking about. But anyway, mistyped. Good job with the pedantry. Yes, carrying water. My point stands. Just skipped it again. 2. I said it's not wrong. It was the way you chose to engage with it. Your rightness. Which in tandem with a dozen or more other examples, none of which I'll provide, over some time adds up to me commenting when I did. You mistyped the whole word, one that completely changes the meaning of the phrase. Okay, seems a bit weird. The way I chose to engage with it was to post a clip and make a joke, same as anyone does on Twitter. Can you explain which part of that is a grift or right wing? Since you've gone out of your way, literally 4 separate times now, to pretend I didn't say all of those things more than once now, and pretending you're not sure what I'm saying, etc. Like I said, I get it, you're having a laugh, I hope it was fun. No laughter here. I think you might be having a genuine mental health episode, which is why I'm asking you to explain the reality you perceive, so we can then compare it to objective reality. You refuse to explain your version, so on some level you at least kind of know it's not real. I mistyped. As it said the wrong phrase, carrying water versus holding water. I'm sure you can wrap your big brain around that one, Skipper. Like I said, that tweet wasn't a right-wing grift. I've said that several times now, and you've lied about recognising that. So the tweet wasn't a right-wing grift, but you said I was engaging in right-wing grifter-style engagement tactics. Can you explain what they are and how I engaged in them? Thanks. You have repeatedly spoken, word for word, right-wing talking points about only certain individuals and carry a different rhetoric down other aisles. At this point, you're just embarrassed, I guess, laughing my ass off. Mental health episode, about as classy as teenagers saying, get a life in CSGO, mate. And then I started replying again. So you admit I don't engage with right-wing dogma. You do know most grifters adopt the dogmatic approach because disagreement equals people unsubscribing, etc., right? You've only embarrassed yourself because you accuse me of something you then can't substantiate. Try again? Wait, what? The tweet you are replying to has been deleted or isn't visible to you? Well, obviously, he's eventually going to get back to me with an explicit explanation of the grift I was engaged in. Oh my me, what? He blocked me for no reason, guys. The most immature man-child thing you can do. He used a function on social media and blocked me for no reason. Now, that right there is why it's super important. Like, people always say, oh, you're always arguing with people on Twitter to waste of time. I did God's work there. I did God's work. That guy, that is like giving a psilocybin mushroom to a primate. He's got lots to think about there, right? So I'm just saying. And his account doesn't even exist anymore. And I like to believe it's because I basically did a fucking factory reset on his brain. That's what I like to believe. Of course, he has just registered another account, one that isn't soaked in excruciatingly embarrassing nonsense. Right, I do have some others. I did a tweet basically where I was like, talk. I did. It was about the Team Liquid, I think, and saying like, oh, you know, they when they weaponized their apology or whatever it was, and he said, this is from House MDE in now deleted tweets. He said, you lot are fucking pathetic. I'm eager to see Saudi take over the scene. There may be self-righteous cunts like you will fuck off. But unfortunately, we all know you will stay for the money. No principles, only virtue signaling, right? And I said to him, I said, I'm actively turning down the Saudi money and criticizing the Saudi money. Maybe you've got the wrong guy. And if ESL were to start hosting major events on CS2, you would cover them. Last I checked, you were doing CSGO hosting in the pre-pandemic days. If you've quit covering CS or you won't be doing business with ESL and any other Saudi-backed organizer, then sure, I'll take back what I said, spelled S-E-D. Right, so I was on record as not working with ESL for pre-Saudi. We had there's been a ton of reasons to object. And so obviously I have publicly said I won't work with any of them, turned down investment into a company that we could have started. So I'm definitely not the one, right? So I said to him, bro, I'm like publicly on record saying I won't work with ESL. Do you want to like take that back because you just look a bit silly? Now you're getting into the mind of a moron. This is like useful field research. Nah, I like being reactionary and making bold statements. It's half the fun of having a Twitter account. I like saying completely factually incorrect things out loud in public because my brain thinks they might be right. Brilliant. The mind of a moron. I said, I don't know if bold and reactionary is the word I would use. I would use the phrase stupefyingly ill-informed. And look, this is true. This is the shit that happens. Yeah, I suppose ill-informed is a better adjective. Yeah, you have got me there. I am a fucking moron, yeah. Either way, on some things I make statements where I actually know what I'm talking about, and in some cases I just say whatever comes to my mind and feels right in the moment. I said, again, you've just given me the textbook description for a loudmouth moron. And he replied again, loudmouth, yeah. Moron, in many instances, yes. Not all the time, though. I really didn't think you would take a rando Twitter account this seriously. I don't mind making the claims I made, since it ultimately leads to discourse. People tend to respond to negativity more often. Like, fair enough, I guess. Like, you can't stand up to that. And this is what I mean. Occasionally, one can connect with the moron. It's fine. There was this as well. I think it was on one of the reports about Saudi Arabia I did, can't even remember which one. Fear-mongering does incredible for impressions. So I said, where's the fear-mongering? I'm like just factually reporting on something that's like occurring in the scene. And they said, oh no, the region that our governments gave immeasurable wealth to is using that to legally buy things that I like. I'm going to call it sports washing and sensationalize it to the point where I convince people it's an issue. My brain is off, yet I would still be better than Ten Hag. Now, it's kind of gone off the rails at the end there, that one, hasn't it? Because I think what happened is, I think partway through the tweet, replying to me, and he's angry about sports washing as a term. I think his brain it couldn't hold the thought for long enough. And then he realised he was also angry about Ten Hag. And those two parts of his brain collided, much like the Big Bang Theory, the two universes, created a tear in reality where, for some reason, he believes an appropriate sentence in a critique about sports washing framing is, my brain is off, yet I would still be better than Ten Hag. Again, tells no lies. Sometimes morons are, like, frighteningly honest. Oh, of course. Yeah, I forgot. This is just a common or garden insult we'll put in. 'Cause I blocked somebody who didn't understand what sports washing was and said the usual, but why is it good for America? And they couldn't answer the American. Where's the American government doing it? He's a fat bitch. He'll block everyone who hurts his saggy tits. The Saudi government are bad and evil, but don't tell me this guy is going against them out of empathy towards others. A twat that doesn't side with people who get 7k of them killed in 3 weeks has no empathy. And you see, right there, he's upset that I said on a podcast, maybe a political group that kills 1,400 civilians, including raping them, torturing them, killing children. Maybe they're not good. I think it's very easy to condemn them. I don't think that's excusable. So I did say that because I do believe that, funnily enough, and probably another one of my grifts. And I think that's what got him upset, and that led to saggy tits. Which, listen, I'll have you know, my tits are incredibly firm. So I want a saggy I won't have. Another guy got blocked, and he said, "This one here, the little bitch blocked me. Lol. Looks like he hated Saudis, not because it was a fascist ethno-state, but because he's Islamophobic." So, got me there. Let's end on some bangers. Yeah, this was a bit of a strange one, I have to say. But I didn't understand it. I don't even understand the premise. So, as you know, I've been putting my Crusader Kings 3 playthrough up on YouTube. And this is from the 3rd episode, The Tide Turns. I think I was at war with someone, because of course. Fuck R. Lewis. Can't believe such cancerous thoughts can exist in a society. Society has to police or discourage or shame degeneracy. The lack of honesty and shame is destroying us. Now, I was just trying to invade a small county in Wales at the time and raise some strapping young lads to keep the bloodline alive. I don't know. Was there anything in there that was weird? But no, I said, what thoughts would those be? Never got a reply. The intrusive thoughts just won that day, I guess. Always fun. This one, it's a straight hood classic. Again, a sub. My man lives in the Great British Empire. Spoiler, I don't know if you got the fucking... Don't know if you've turned the news on lately. That isn't a thing. My man lives in the Great British Empire saying China bad, Saudi bad. Yes, Saudi is bombing Yemen, which is bad, right? But okay. They are bad, but not a peep about the US. I never criticize the US government, do I? Okay. Or Israel. Same. Or France, literally tear Macron to shreds every opportunity I get. Or any Western country. He's a good journalist, no doubt, but he has blind spots for the West. Where are the million videos about the US Army using esports for recruitment? There's only one article, and you can probably find multiple articles I've written down the years. Generally find articles a bit more impactful about things that you actually want to change. Warra International Treasure. So obviously all them things that I have done. When am I going to do them? Fucking release my greatest hits video, I guess. This one on Reddit. Just a racist guy. This is the account is called Pacifism is Evil, so we're already off to a... Just a racist guy disliking an Arab country which is progressing rapidly. They're allowing women to wear bikinis on some beaches now. Unmarried couples can share hotel rooms. Alcohol is going to be allowed at one resort. Lebanon banned Barbie for promoting homosexuality, but progressive Saudi Arabia allows it. They're even becoming friendly with Israel. It's not the Middle East of the 90s anymore. But what about Khashoggi? He was a terrorist-supporting friend of bin Laden that criticised Saudi Arabia in his last interview with the propaganda outlet of state sponsor of terror Qatar for allowing greater press freedom. Saudi Arabia apologised and paid compensation, but it was front-page news for months in propaganda media outlets. Meanwhile, the Iranian consulate in Istanbul assassinated a guy around the same time, and the vast majority of the media didn't want to cover it at all. What good does it do to turn Saudi Arabia into an enemy? Will it make them abandon their religion? Will it help the world in any way? It will push them closer to China than they already are. Did Saudi Arabia sponsor terrorism against the West? Just the big time. Saudi intelligence warned the CIA about members of Al-Qaeda living in the US in '99, and the US ignored them. It was Iran that trained the 9/11 hijackers and harbors al-Qaeda leaders to this day. But Iran always gets away with its evil, and now Biden has given them $6 billion to spend on terrorism in return for a few hostages, and has secretly negotiated an even more terrible nuclear deal. Okay, well, my bad. Did you just bash Saudi human right as British? That's funny AF. British people talking about human right, Lamau, and from the perceptive of gamer, nonetheless. Do you hear yourself talking? I agree about esport human right is a BS, but this another level. Lamau acting like human right champion and bashing Saudi Arabia coming from British. Lol, 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 lol. Okay. This is a nice little variant of the lost all respect, but it's kind of a weird one. Women's rights? LGBT rights? Richard, you have fallen so low. I asked him, I said, I've always cared about these things, why don't you? He didn't answer. Fallen so low, caring about humans. Another Hood classic in the Saudi coverage. Weren't you sponsored by a gambling platform? Arguably, gambling has ruined more lives and is less ethical than Saudi. From my video, the shilling there. Imprisoning people for dissent against the state or offering them the opportunity to knowingly engage in gambling, these things are the same. A literal argument you read every day. Yeah, no, we'll end here, I think. We'll end on these ones. Because there was a Vax Sucks guy, and they're always good value. For those who don't know, basically, it's sort of died off a little bit. It's only really the hardcore nutters there. But there is a conspiracy theory that all of CS, all of competitive Counter-Strike, all the pros cheat. Valve know they cheat. I know they cheat. All the talent knows they cheat. Casters deliberately don't say they're cheating, even though they know what they're looking at are cheats. And we're all in on it, and we all get paid to be in on it because esports makes so much money. Right. That's the conspiracy theory. And so obviously, as a guy who says, nah, probably like not even 2 pro players at any given moment in time are actually cheating, that just proves I'm in on it, you see. So the Back Sucks guys, they got onto my Substack, and he tried. Oh, this is a double, actually. There was a little gotcha up there about Saudi. I like how you conveniently left out. You went for a broadcast that was sponsored by Skins website in the US Air Force. Guess that must have not been included on an accident. Done a ton of broadcasts sponsored by Skin sites. Never saw a penny from any of them and have never promoted them. But one broadcast that the US Air Force sponsor raised my objections to the point they had to hire someone else to do those segments, and have written extensively down the years about why such a sponsorship is wrong. That's the classic moron gotcha there. But this is the Vax Sucks guy. Literally called Guy S. Richard, he quoted the article, Valve watching from a safe distance while this dumb community heckled anyone willing to pick up a shovel. Weren't you part of that community when some of us wanted to discuss cheating? Claiming we're all delusional for thinking people who would lie and steal for money are somehow above using cheats for the same purpose. I appreciate you finally being critical of Valve after years of just trying to build the esports scene as legit, but you know it never was. Even before the $1 million contracts, it wasn't fair competition, and we weren't seeing the world's best. We have been watching a circus since day one. Competitive integrity has never existed, and if you have any doubt, go and play a round of CS2. It's a game for cheaters that all lie to each other. They're not cheating. The game is rotten from top to bottom, and Valve's lack of leadership will ensure the insane continue to run the asylum. Now, obviously, I just deleted that comment because you can't really engage with the Vax Sucks people. They are like desperately mentally ill, and he got upset about that. Made another comment. He said, Dick, wasn't it you claiming we're all delusional for thinking people who would lie and steal for money are above using cheats for the same purpose? Don't censor me, journalist. Don't be that way. So I censored him. And that's you, band. You little rat. Now, I have actually left out loads more, but I guess they'll go into the next episode. We've definitely done this enough. I'm sure it's going to give you all... It should carry a health warning when you delve this much into it. So there you go. That's what I have to engage in. You think it's great being an esports personality? It's not. That is every single day. Dumbness, morons, lunatics, delusional people, all accusing you of something. It sucks. But we fight the good fight. And that's that.